ACMi productions are only made possible with your support. Visit patreon.com/ACMi to learn how you can help. The following program is brought to you by Arlington Community Media, where we tell your story.
This is ACMi News, recognized nationwide as the first place winner of the 2023 Hometown Media Award for News Access.
The clock tower atop Town Hall is gone for now. How difficult was it to remove? And what's next in this multi-phase operation to restore Town Hall? Another electric bus will soon be joining the Arlington Public School bus fleet. Courtesy of the federal government, we'll tell you about the ongoing plan for these yellow vehicles to go green. And what a beautiful sunny day to graduate high school. Arlington High School's class of 24 ends what has been a most unusual four-year journey as they now set sail for the next exciting phase in their lives. ACMi News starts right now.
From McLennan Park to Spy Pond, from Poets Corner to the Mystic River, we have Arlington covered, giving you stories that count from people who care. Reliable, trustworthy, dependable. This is the nationwide award-winning ACMi News.
The town of Arlington is now the victim of a cyber attack. Hello, I'm Carla Dorado.
And I'm Paul Werlin. Glad you could join us. The announcement was made in the late afternoon hours of Wednesday, June 5th from the town hall. Town leaders say that the well-resourced and likely overseas hackers posed as vendors related to the ongoing Arlington High School building project, and that the perpetrators used an email domain that appeared genuine. The hackers then reportedly requested a change in their payment method from check to electronic funds, a common method used by municipalities for ongoing payments. By the time the red flags were raised, Arlington lost nearly $446,000.
Sadly, we were the victim of cybercrime. It was a textbook business email compromise. And let me just start by saying I am sorry this happened, and I apologize to Arlington's residents and taxpayers. It's really quite unfortunate that this is the world we live in today, but it was enlightening for us and certainly eye-opening about the next steps that we have to take to harden ourselves as an organization with respect to cybersecurity, and that we need to make some meaningful investments in training, in tools to assist us with really what is an evolving threat, and that it's something we need to pay closer attention to, that we need to do more training on, and something that we need to keep up with as the threat continues to evolve over time.
As far as this particular operation, it seems like it happened in two stages. One, we're hacked, but then it was perpetuated. How did that happen?
Sure. So, and we don't know exactly what the initial entry vector was, but clearly it came from the outside, and then they had the opportunity to have access to, town employee Microsoft accounts, and then it's much easier to perpetrate the chain of attack when you have the ability to send a message as a trusted sender internally and continue to sort of harvest additional credentials. But, with that, there was other instances of phishing and spoofing and social engineering and being able to, send messages as if they were town employees that helped sort of ultimately lend them to their successful interception of payments. There were some other attempts that were unsuccessful, thank God, for much larger sums of money. But what I would want to add too is that this loss, we're fortunate this time we can absorb it into the Arlington High School building project, which was the account that was hit, and it will not impact the project timeline in any way or the final outcome or product that we get for the Arlington High School.
But bottom line, this money's lost. It's irretrievable.
That is correct. Our banking institution has been working tirelessly on our behalf, and with the recipient or beneficiary bank, they were able to recover approximately just over $3,300, and now we're sort of going through the process with our insurance company to see how much we are able to recover and replenish the lost funds.
Are you going to be changing the cybersecurity system for the town of Arlington to make sure this is in the rearview mirror?
We are, and ironically, we had already programmed some line items into the budget for fiscal year 25, having recognized that this was an emerging threat and having seen, going to conferences and hearing about other municipalities that had been hit. It was sort of on our radar, and it was something we had programmed into the budget to be able to do come July 1. So in that respect, we had a bit of a head start, but we've also been working with the state to identify other resources like penetration testing and other vulnerability assessments to help identify other needs that we may have. We've begun rolling out multi-factor authentication and need to develop a plan for doing so organization-wide, and better password policy management, right? There's so many different things that we could have been doing and will be doing in the future.
Town leaders stress that no data involving residents or other sensitive information has been compromised. To read the town statement in its entirety regarding this crime, just go to the town website, arlingtonma.gov. Again, that's arlingtonma.gov.
The project to dismantle the clock tower atop Town Hall is now complete. You may recall the operation kicked off just after noon on Friday, May 24th, at the start of the long Memorial holiday weekend when there was less motor and foot traffic. Dodging a rainy day or two, it took crews a total of 8 days to take the tower down. You may recall ACMi News Director Jeff Barn covered the beginning stages of this project last week. This week, he covered the final 3 days of the operation and hitched a ride on a 150-foot crane to see just how bad things were on the roof of Town Hall.
Day 6 of the tedious but absolutely necessary job of dismantling the clock tower atop Town Hall. At first, it was thought this job would take 2 to 3 weeks. But the president of Fox Painting Company, Inc. of Arlington, the contractor in charge of this delicate operation, says they are ahead of schedule. And from what they've been working on, this job could not come soon enough.
It is in very, very poor shape up there. A lot of the stones, you can stick 3-4 fingers inside. That's how badly deteriorated they are.
Are you surprised by how easy some of the pieces of the clock tower are actually just being extracted?
No, I'm not surprised because it's in very poor shape. 100 years of New England weather will deteriorate anything. And add the fact that they never did any maintenance to it. I mean, these stones are just coming right off, and we're dismantling it piece by piece, as you can see in the pieces that we've recovered, because I believe that their plan is to rebuild it and get it back to the original state.
We managed to hitch a ride on the crane with operator Bima Paisani to get a first-hand look for ourselves as crews were chipping away at the aging structure. When you're up here on this platform, it really shows that this clock tower is in a major state of disrepair. This is the result of years and years of harsh winter storms, of the sun baking down on it and torrential rains day in and day out, year after year, decade after decade. This is also the result, let's be frank, of years of just blatant neglect, which really underscores the urgency of this dismantling job and the fact that this job has to be done very quickly. If something had been tended to, and correct me if I'm wrong, 30 years ago, you may not be doing this today.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, a little bit of maintenance with everything goes a long way. If they, had a mason up there maintaining the motor joints and the stones, this wouldn't even be necessary today. This has been a can that's been kicked down the road for far too long, and this is the end result of lack of maintenance. Now we have to take it down and rebuild it.
By day 7, roughly 90% of the clock tower was removed. Crews were using jackhammers to clear away what remained of the foundation. What ornaments could be used in the future, including the clock, were cataloged and stored. Years of neglect caused extensive water damage to the building, namely the room directly below the clock tower, which has been shuttered now for a year and a half. You're going to have to seal the building off because that lion's hearing room, especially the ceiling, that's destroyed.
No, we're gonna do a door on top so that they're able to get to the roof, and we're also gonna fix the roof there and completely seal it so there's no more leaking going on. Because as it is right now, every time it rains, that water ends up inside on the second floor, and that second floor is getting destroyed. This is something that, besides safety, it had to get done, or the building, you were going to lose the building, to be honest with you.
Day 8, the last of the debris is off the roof and in the dumpster. A temporary tarp now covering the affected area, as crews clean up on the roof and in front of Town Hall. Town Manager Jim Feedy says now the next phase begins. I talked to you about this before, but it will be replaced. You're dismantling it very gingerly, very laborious. Obviously, it's going to take time.
Yep.
But it will eventually be replaced and pretty much look like it does in much, much better shape.
Yeah, it will be. We have certainly recorded it in all of its glory via certain 3D laser scans of various rounds, and we've created a point cloud model. So we've really captured its essence in sort of time, at this point in time, how it exists in space, and the detail, the dimensions. So we have all that information, and now it's going to be, okay, what is the best way to rebuild this clock tower? Do we find, someone to restore or rebuild the terracotta elements and the limestone elements? There's a number of different ways to do it. You could use replicated materials. So there's a number of options for the town that we're going to have to weigh the pros and cons of moving forward in terms of not just cost, but availability, timeline, and just make sure that once we do rebuild it, that it looks as if it was always there and nothing ever happened.
But for now, Arlington's skyline, which for more than a century included this, will, at least in the foreseeable future, have to get used to this. For ACMi News, I'm Jeff Barnes.
Our thanks to the crew at Fox Painting Company, Inc. for all the information. For the latest on the Town Hall reconstruction effort, just go to the town website, arlingtonma.gov. Again, that's arlingtonma.gov. The Rotary Club of Arlington held a dedication ceremony at the grounds of the Water Tower in the Heights community Sunday, June 2nd. Members had the opportunity to sponsor a U.S. flag honoring the men and women who are serving or have served as members of the military, police officers, firefighters, anyone who's made a difference in the lives of others. 186 flags graced the grounds this year, each the result of a $40 donation and a tag with the name of the minter. The donation goes directly to the Rotary Club of Arlington Scholarship Program. This year's Flags for Heroes campaign is in honor of George Reynolds, a longtime Rotary member of 62 years who passed away earlier this year. His loved ones were able to make it for this year's dedication ceremony.
When I joined the Rotary 6 years ago, I got involved in the Flags for Heroes program. It meant a lot to me. My son is a colonel in the U.S. Marines, and I have a flag for him in his honor here, and I'm very proud of him and everything that we do here.
This is a great project. It takes a village to do something like this. A lot of people participate, and this year we had 186 people sponsoring flags. And for the first time, we actually have this directory, which has the number and location of each flag that sponsors put up. This is a great community. This is a community that's not just engaged here, but they're engaged in many different places. And this is one of the patriotic endeavors, but it also sponsors 3 scholarships.
Any idea how much money you raised to help out a student here in Arlington?
It's about $6,000. We give 3 $2,000 scholarships, one to Arlington High, one to Arlington Catholic, and one to Minuteman Tech.
Now, 186 flags are here to represent mentors in everybody's life, but this whole thing is dedicated to your dad, and I just overheard some words that you were saying that he loved this more than anything.
He really did. He really did. I want to say he was twice past president, at least once, but I think twice. And he was in it for 62 years, so it must have meant quite a bit to him. The money that's raised here to help, high school kids going off to college, I think it's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
When you found out that this was going to be dedicated to your dad, what'd you think?
I had no idea. I was thrilled. Greg Anderson called me the other day and let me know, and I said, I will be here. Unfortunately, my sisters couldn't be here because they're scattered across the country. But I'm here representing the Reynolds.
If you have the chance, visit the grounds at the Water Tower. It is a beautiful sight. For all the information on how Rotary helps out the Arlington community, just go to the Arlington Rotary website, arlingtonmarotary.com. Again, that's arlingtonmarotary.com.
Arlington's Rainbow Commission is already celebrating Pride Month 2024. For months now, the Commission has been getting things ready to celebrate Pride Month, which began June 1st. There are already many activities planned, including the highly anticipated Crosswalk painting series, and the Commission is still looking for volunteers to help with the crosswalks this year. The first crosswalk painting took place on June 2nd. On June 6th, volunteers put the finishing touches on the crosswalk in the Heights at Park Ave and Mass Avenues. Then on June 10th, look down at an East Arlington crosswalk on Mass Ave and watch the colors come alive. For more information on the Crosswalk painting series and all events this Pride Month, email rainbow@town.arlington.ma.us. Again, that's rainbow@town.arlington.ma.us.
This is when you know summer has begun in Arlington. Porchfest 2024 is just days away. On Saturday, June 15th, 300 porches, bands, and artists are returning to your neighborhood this year. Once again, we'll enjoy that energy that live music creates on Arlington's lawns, porches, gardens, and stoops in a day of festivity and merriment. This revered townwide festival will be moving from west to east from noon till 6 p.m. This year's Porchfest will feature a wide range of musical genres from Americana to Zydeco, creative dance performances, and the works of resident artists on porches throughout our neighborhoods. Get the latest on this year's Porchfest by going to the website arlingtonporchfest.org. Again, that's arlingtonporchfest.org. We hope to see you there. The town of Arlington has just been awarded $200,000 for the new electric school bus. Town leaders say it's all part of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's Clean School Bus rebate. The funds will be used to replace one diesel school bus with a battery electric school bus, like this one. That brings the total number of electric buses in the Arlington Public Schools fleet to 3 out of 13 buses. The electrification of Arlington school buses is part of the town's efforts to enhance air quality and achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. Arlington Public Schools are among 17 Bay State school districts in Massachusetts to receive funds for clean school buses. Find out more about this rebate by going to the town website, arlingtonma.gov. Again, that's arlingtonma.gov.
Arlington's Community Brass Ensemble is set to hold its spring concert at First Baptist Church at 819 Mass Ave on Sunday, June 9th. Mystic Brass Ensemble will feature soloist Joseph Foley, the principal trumpet of the Rhode Island Philharmonic and Portland Symphony. There will also be a full wind ensemble in the second half of the program. MBE Director Andrew Heath says audience of all ages are welcomed for this free event.
Sunday at 3, we have our second annual installment of our Art of Ensemble series, where we bring in up to 4 different configurations of the brass ensemble. So we have the brass ensemble a cappella, you could call it. We have brass and percussion. We have the ensemble with a soloist. And then finally, we invite our friends from the area for a full wind ensemble. So there is a lot to choose from. There's something for everybody. Classical music concerts should be fun and to a certain extent casual. You do not need to dress up to attend. You do not need to purchase a ticket in advance. You should come and sit down and enjoy. If you have to cough, fine. If you have to unwrap a candy, fine. The whole point is to really just enjoy and be among good culture in your town of Arlington.
That's great. So you're not stuffy. Everyone's invited, and if someone claps and it's not quite time to clap in a movement, you're not going to throw them out.
Absolutely. We can redefine how we interact as performers and audience. It should be about everyone's enjoyment. There's no pedestal. It's everyone together.
Again, the concert starts at 3 p.m. at the First Baptist Church at 819 Mass Ave on Sunday, June 9th. MBE suggests a donation of $15, which can be made in person or online at mysticbrass.org. Again, that's mysticbrass.org.
And Arlington is alive with the sound of music. Almost directly across the street at the same time, the latest concert of the MIRAC Chamber Music 2024 concert series is set to take place. The music of area composer Hovhaness will be played at the Town Hall Auditorium on Sunday, June 9th at 3 p.m. This event is sponsored by Arlington's Armenian Cultural Foundation.
Well, Hovhaness was not born in Arlington. He was born in Somerville, but moved to Arlington at a very young age, maybe 5 or 6 years old, I'm not sure. But he did go to Arlington schools and graduated from the high school in 1929. Just to give you an aspect of his talent, he wrote a little musical for the middle school, for the Ottoson, what was then not, it was called the Ottoson Junior High School. And then at the high school, he actually wrote the musical for the high school as well as an opera, I believe. Recently, I've noticed that there's been a real uptick in the performance of his music. Part of the reason is, I think, is his language. He did not write avant-garde, modernistic music, which was in vogue during the 40s, 50s, and 60s. But I believe that has turned around, and now his music has become more prominent. One of his greatest pieces is the piece called "And God Created the Whales," where he actually recorded whale sounds and incorporated them into this piece. He's written music in almost any genre, choral, instrumental, operas, some beautiful, beautiful vocal music, songs, things like that. And the biggest piece we're going to do is his Prayer to St. Gregory for solo trumpet and strings, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. Admission is free, although we do ask for a donation to help curate the material that they have at the Armenian Cultural Society that relates to Hovhaness. So I would urge and hope that you all can come, and look forward to seeing you there.
The MIRAC Chamber Music 2024 concert series, a tribute to Hovhaness, will be staged at the Town Hall Auditorium on Sunday, June 9th at 3 p.m. For more information, you can call this number, 781-646-3090. Again, the phone number is 781-646-3090.
Finally, it was a perfect sunny day on Saturday, June 1st, as Arlington congratulated the AHS graduating class of 2024. Nearly 400 graduates received their diplomas at Pierce Field behind the high school. Remarks were delivered by high school principal Matthew Janger, Superintendent Dr. Elizabeth Honan, and School Committee Chairman Paul Schlichtman, and Senior Class President Grace Purinton.
For the last 4 years or so, this class has navigated remote learning, construction projects, flood, heat, crumbling buildings. At times, many of you have said, "I can't wait until graduation." And today, we have a chance to celebrate your effort, your relationships, your persistence, and your future. We have looked forward to this day, but we can wait a little longer. The memories you have made here are precious, precious. Good or bad, they will make you into who you will become.
So I ask you only one thing in return. Don't take it for granted. As you walk through those arches with your diploma, know this is a transition to an adult world where you will now gain an adult responsibility to the children in the classes behind you. We don't send you a bill for your education. We can only ask you to care about future generations. We can only hope that your dreams will include a better world and even better schools for your children and grandchildren. I told the class of 2004, last week you were playing with water guns. In November, you will be eligible to vote for president. You are entering adulthood in historic times, and you have a tremendous opportunity to influence the world your children will be born into. That's even more true today. I don't think I need to say anymore. 20 years ago, I noted some differences between red states and blue states. These differences are more pronounced today. Know that Arlington is one of the bluest towns and one of the bluest states, and when you travel into the rest of the diverse nation, you will experience many flavors of being an American. You will find real differences, but there's so much we hold in common. There's a lot of good people and yummy food out there. Go find it.
And the class of 2024 has earned spots at 129 different universities, from California to Florida to Maine to Canada, the UK, and Ireland. You are off to serve your country and your community with all you have learned in the Arlington Public Schools. While here at Arlington High, you have led your peers in reshaping Arlington High School, and you are truly shaping the entire Arlington community. From the founding of practice buddy programs to advocacy for our local ecosystem in the midst of climate change, presentations to town meeting and school committee to advocate for meaningful change that will last in Arlington well past when you've graduated, the class of 2024 has continually taken the leadership initiative to celebrate and uplift all identities, all experiences, and all ways of learning and loving one another.
Spy Ponders, we have come to the end of our ceremony today. And I want to leave you with this. Class of 2024, you have made it. This moment marks the beginning of your incredible journey ahead. As Ferris Bueller once said during our very own freshman movie night, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
The class of 2024 persevered through the ongoing reconstruction of the campus and the COVID-19 pandemic. That's when these students had to endure mostly online-only classes for roughly a year and a half in 2020 and 2021. But they did it. From all of us at ACMi, congratulations to the Arlington High School class of 2024. That'll do it for this week's edition of ACMi News. Do you want to see how we put the newscast together here in Arlington?
Stop by and pay us a visit at 85 Park Ave on Thursday afternoons between 3 and 5 p.m. And if you have any news tips for us, stay tuned. In just a few seconds, you'll find out how to contact us.
Meantime, we'll see you back here next week. Thanks as always for joining us. I'm Paul Werlin.
And I'm Carla Dorado. Have a great weekend, everyone.
You can always check out our latest segments and newscasts on the web at acmi.tv/news. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ACMi News. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You'll find us at youtube.com/ACMi News. If you have any news tips for us or wish to become a citizen journalist, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@acmi.tv or stop by ACMi Studio A at 85 Park Avenue.
ACMi productions are only made possible with your support. Visit patreon.com/ACMi to learn how you can help.